Before doing anything else, I want you to pause for a moment and simply pay attention to your body. Not in a complicated way, not with numbers or devices, just awareness. Because long before any test or diagnosis, your body has a way of sending quiet signals, and most people learn to ignore them. This is especially true after the age of 60, when circulation begins to change in subtle ways. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but gradually. Legs that feel a little heavier at the end of the day, feet that don't feel as warm as they used to, small details that are easy to dismiss but often mean more than we think. So let's take a very simple approach. Imagine you begin with 5 points. I'm going to walk you through a few common sensations people experience. For each one that feels familiar to you, just subtract 1 point. There's no pressure here. This is not about passing or failing. It's simply about understanding where you are right now. Some people notice that their feet feel cold even when the room is warm. Not freezing, not painful, just consistently cooler than expected. That can be one of the first signs that blood is not moving as efficiently all the way down and back up through the legs. Others describe a sense of heaviness, not after exercise, but after normal daily activity, sitting, standing, doing light chores. The legs feel tired in a way that doesn't quite match the effort. That sensation often reflects blood and fluid lingering longer in the lower legs than it should. Before we continue, let me know in the comments how old you are and where you're watching from. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. If this video is helping you, consider joining our channel membership by clicking the join button below to access exclusive content and special tips created just for our community. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. Then there's swelling, usually around the ankles. It tends to show up later in the day. Socks leave marks. Shoes feel tighter than they did in the morning. It's subtle at first, but it tells a very clear story about how circulation is functioning. Some people experience cramps at night, especially in the calves. They wake up suddenly, sometimes with sharp discomfort. It can feel random, but in many cases, it's related to inconsistent oxygen delivery to the muscles, and over time, visible changes may appear. Small veins becoming more noticeable, or larger varicose veins developing where there were none before. These are not just cosmetic changes. They often reflect pressure building within the veins over years. Now, whatever number you arrived at, just take note of it. There's no judgment attached to it. If your number is high, it simply means your body is maintaining good circulation. If it's lower, it means your body is asking for a bit more support. And the important part is this: circulation is highly adaptable. The body is not fixed, it responds. To understand why these changes happen, it helps to picture what's going on beneath the surface. Your heart is very effective at pushing blood down into your legs. Gravity actually assists with that. The real challenge is bringing that blood back up. Inside your veins are small one-way valves. Their job is to keep blood moving in the right direction. When you're younger and more active, your muscles contract frequently, helping push blood upward. But over time, movement decreases. Sitting becomes more common, and those valves may not work as efficiently as they once did. When that happens, blood begins to slow and collect in the lower parts of the legs. That's when the sensations start to appear. Heaviness, swelling, changes in temperature, visible veins. What many people don't realize is that there is only one force in your body designed to push blood upward against gravity in this situation: muscle contraction. Every time your leg muscles engage, they gently squeeze the veins and help move blood back towards your heart. Without that movement, the system becomes less efficient, and the encouraging part is that even small, intentional movements can make a noticeable difference. One of the simplest ways to begin is by gently lifting one leg at a time while seated, almost like a slow march. Not rushed, not forced, just controlled. The goal is not speed, but activation, feeling the muscles engage and release. Another movement involves extending the legs slightly forward and adding a gentle motion at the foot, pointing the toes away, then bringing them back towards you. This creates a subtle but effective pumping action through the lower leg. But the most important movement is even simpler: keeping your feet on the ground, slowly lifting your heels while your toes stay planted. holding briefly, then lowering with control. It may seem minimal, but this motion activates the calf muscles in a very specific way. Those muscles play a crucial role. Each time they contract, they help push blood upward through the veins. Over time, this can help reduce that sense of heaviness and improve how your legs feel throughout the day. And something interesting often happens when people begin doing this consistently. They start to notice warmth returning to their legs and feet, not suddenly, not dramatically, but gradually, a sign that blood is moving more freely again. Because even later in life, the body still responds to the right kind of stimulus. It still adapts. It still improves. And sometimes, the change begins with something as simple as paying attention and moving with intention. That gentle warmth you begin to feel is not random. It's a sign that circulation is improving and that blood is finally moving more efficiently through your legs again. One detail that often gets overlooked is how high you lift your heels during the movement. Many people barely raise them, almost as if they are testing the motion rather than engaging with it. But the effectiveness comes from intention. When you lift your heels as high as comfortably possible, the contraction in your calves becomes stronger, and that directly enhances the pumping action that moves blood upward. If balance ever feels uncertain, there's no need to push through instability. Simply hold onto the sides of your chair and focus on control rather than height. And if swelling is already present or more advanced, starting gently is completely appropriate. Even small, consistent contractions can begin to support circulation over time. As you continue, keep in mind that what you are doing here is not just an isolated exercise. In a moment, I'm going to show you how to bring everything together into a simple routine you can complete in just 2 minutes a day. That's often all it takes to create a noticeable shift. Now, beyond the exercises themselves, there are a few small habits that can significantly amplify their effect. The first one is something I like to call the 20-second reset. Whenever you've been sitting for about 20 to 30 minutes, take a short moment to activate your calves. It doesn't need to be complicated. A few heel raises, some gentle ankle movements, or even pressing your toes into the ground repeatedly can be enough. What matters is interrupting that long period of stillness. We know from research that extended sitting slows down venous blood flow, but even brief moments of movement can help restore it. The second habit is something you can do right before going to sleep. While lying comfortably, begin to move your ankles in slow, controlled circles. Make them large and intentional. 10 rotations in one direction, then 10 in the other. This keeps the joints mobile and helps prevent that overnight stiffness that can quietly interfere with circulation. The third habit involves using gravity in your favor. When you're resting, place a pillow under your legs so your heels are slightly elevated above the level of your heart. Just a few minutes in this position can help blood return more easily upward, reducing that feeling of pressure or swelling that tends to build throughout the day. Of course, if your doctor has given you specific instructions regarding elevation, it's always best to follow their guidance. Now, let's come back to where you started. Think about your original score from the beginning. That number wasn't meant to define you, but to give you a starting point. If you apply these movements and habits consistently, even once or twice a day, and revisit that test after a couple of weeks, many people begin to notice small but meaningful changes. Less swelling in the evening, fewer interruptions from cramps at night, a lighter, more comfortable feeling in the legs throughout the day, because circulation is not something fixed or permanent. It responds, it adapts, it improves when you give your body the right signals. Before we finish, it's important to say this clearly. Everything shared here is for educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for personalized medical advice. If you have been diagnosed with vascular conditions, a history of blood clots, significant vein issues, or unexplained pain in your legs, it's always best to consult your healthcare provider before starting anything new. And if you ever notice sudden swelling in one leg, chest discomfort, or shortness of breath, those are signs that require immediate medical attention. Your body has its own story, and your doctor understands that story in detail. Today, we focused on something simple but powerful: You learned how to recognize early signs of circulation changes, how your calf muscles function as a natural pump, and how small, intentional movements can help restore that flow. This is not about intensity, it's about consistency. Your legs have supported you for years, carrying you through every stage of life. Taking a few minutes each day to support them in return can make a meaningful difference. And if this brought you clarity or helped you understand your body a little better, consider sharing it with someone who might need it as well. Sometimes the smallest insights are the ones that help the most. Take care of your movement, stay consistent, and I'll see you in the next video.